Hi, everybody. It's Sylvia Castillo and Donna Sylvester. Hi, Donna.
Hey, Sylvia.
We're here to show you how to be more effective in your SendOutCard account. So today we're looking at the CRM and uploading contacts. So a lot of times you get your SendOutCard account and then you're like, oh my gosh, if I had everybody in here, this would be amazing. So Donna's going to show us how to do that. So thank you, Donna, for walking us through this.
Sure. I have to say that as I talk with new customers, one of the biggest barriers they experience to getting down to sending cards is getting their contacts imported. And it's really easy. So if you have your contacts in any kind of database where you can get them exported as a CSV file or an Excel file, then I would recommend that you do that and you give it a name so that you're not messing with your original file. Export your database into CSV or Excel and give it a name, because we're going to work a little bit with the headings. Now, the way you get it's really quite easy. So the way you get your contacts imported is you go to Relationships on the left and Import Contacts up in the upper left. And then right here, it says download a sample file here. What this is going to be a sample Excel file with the headings that SendOutCards recognizes. So what you need to do is take these headings and make them absolutely match your data. So I said CSV or Excel, but I would say get your data into an Excel file, and I'm going to open the Excel file that I downloaded. This is the SendOutCard sample headers. And they've put some data in these fields to show you how it works. And you'll want to make sure that you put these headers onto your data spelled and capitalized exactly as you see them here: first name, last name, company name, and so forth. Now, you may not use every single field in here, so you don't need to put headers in that you're not going to use. And I would recommend that you delete fields in your own data that you don't plan to put into SendOutCards. So the only fields that you can put into SendOutCards are the ones in this Excel spreadsheet with these sample headers. What I would point out to you that you need to look at is if you have birthdays and anniversary dates in your data, you need to pick the correct format for that field. So for example, if I want to reformat this field with a different date format that I use, I'm going to pick this 3/14/12 format down here and say OK. And so now I've reformatted that field to have the birthday format that I use. And you'll need to do that for the anniversary field, as well as if you have the spouse and the spouse birthday, you'll need to format those as well. So I'm going to go format both of those. I'm going to go
Now, when you do that, do you need to be highlighted on the entire column then?
If I had a whole column of data in here, I would.
Okay,
Sure.
so just so that if someone is doing this, making these adjustments after they've put the data in, I would just want them to know that they would have to have the whole column, just like
Yep.
Donna has it there, so that you're making sure everything in that column is changed.
Right. That's the more correct way to do it. And so if I just hover over the column, it'll highlight the whole column. I right-click, Format Cells, go to Date, and pick the format that I want and say OK. So now I have all three date fields formatted the same way. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to call it Donna Demo. Monday. And you'll notice that it's set up to save it for you as a CSV comma delimited file. So I'm going to just leave it there and say save. Now I've got my file. you take your data and apply those headers and get rid of the extra data that won't import into SendOutCards, save it as a CSV file, and then you go back to SendOutCards and you drag that file or click and drag that file into this gray box. I'm going to click there and I'm going to go find that file I just created. Right here. I'm going to double click that file. And it automatically matches my data to the field that are in SendOutCards. The only thing you have to do is make sure it says, please select and verify the date format that matches your birthday and anniversary date. And you can see that month, day, and due date year matches what I put in my data. Once you've done that, the step that I find the hardest is nobody knows to go all the way down to the bottom of the screen to find this little next button. But you have to go all the way down and then you click next. And it shows you ready to import one of one. Now, let's say that you had 50 records in your Excel file and you got a note that says ready to import 45 of 50. Maybe there are 5 records in your data that have an error in them. Maybe they don't have the zip code right, or maybe they have some formatting error. It will identify those records for you and you can correct those records. You can import the 25 that are ready to go, correct those records, and then go back or you can correct your data and then, I guess that's what I would recommend, is that you correct the database and then import them all at once. Because if you import them twice, it will import duplicates. It does not recognize duplicate records. So it's important not to import twice. So if I click this import button, it's going to import John Doe into my database. And it's as easy as that. Does that look pretty easy, Sylvia?
That's pretty easy. I think as long as the headers are correctly, that takes the errors out of mapping everything up. So I think that's great. So as long as we follow these instructions exactly what you said, we should be able to get through this pretty easily.
It really is simply a matter of making sure your headers match the headers in SendOutCard's sample file.
Awesome. Well,
So
thanks for walking us through that. I appreciate it.
Sorry for all the choking and coughing, but hopefully you'll be able to get the message from it.
Yep. Thank you. All right. Until we see you again, have a great day.
Bye-bye, Sylvia.